I've always been busy, like being pulled down, in terms of mental energy with academic, pursuits such as the law degree, then gone to the University of Law to do the solicitors finals and the master's work and then the finance work, and it's all. Well, I can't get it mixed up. Is it left brain or right brain or whatever? But what it is, you need a balance in life. See, so I hope I've sort of answered the.
No, I think it's. I mean, it's again. It touches on kind of what we spoke about yesterday as well on your show. Where they're definitely the left brain and the right brain, and I'm like you. I float between those two as well, because obviously being a composer, that's very creative and kind of like, let's throw the rule book out the window, and then kind of trying to run a label and trying to kind of keep all the guys together. Kind of, you need a little bit of almost like, yes, that's a great idea, Steve, but we need to actually get it released like this year and not in 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of having that. It's like an internal, like I call it cognitive dissonance.
Oh wow!
I know exactly what you mean. You kind of sit, and I suppose when you were kind of undertaking a big degree like that with lots of maths and lots of kind of I guess legislation and real kind of heavy stuff, it kind of is almost against that creative way of thinking, isn't it?
It's bad. Like it is. It kills off your. It got to the point where I literally had to switch off. When I was coming to the sequencer, I was sitting down in front of the sequencer, and I was sitting there blank. And I thought what was hurting my heart the most was coming back and seeing dust on my keyboard. And using my keyboard as a prop for a law book. I thought there's plenty of lawyers out there which will be way better than me, and plenty of bankers out there which will be way more better than me. But I know that I've got an ability within, my little niche of music, and I thought I'd rather be recognized as a somebody, rather than just not saying rank and file sort of thing. But I just figured that in life you can. Was it one of the Will Smith quotes in the interview or something? I'm sorry about that. That's the drug dealing ice cream van. I mentioned him on the radio show.
The drug dealing ice cream van. That's your thing.
I'm not kidding, because he's always out there, regardless of the weather. I just think he just doesn't like his missus or something. But he's always doing his run like when he doesn't need to as well. But sorry about that. the thing is, what was this? Well, using the keyboard as a you don't want to be killed off. And it was the Will Smith saying, basically, you can fail. I'm not sure if was it Will Smith. He said it in an interview. You can fail at something you hate, so you may as well try and succeed at something you love, sort of thing. And that really resonated with me.
Will Smith's a cool guy for that. He said a lot of cool stuff, and you can find him just everywhere saying that sort of thing. And I think there is some truth to that. And I mean, we touched on this on a radio show yesterday about kind of getting burnout and that kind of like, should I just give this up? And I think I have a very sort of similar way of thinking to you there, Dav, in terms of like, I'm just going to keep doing this basically until I either physically can't anymore, mentally can't anymore, or whatever. I'm just going to keep going, mate. That's a decision I made probably about 3-4 years ago. We're just going to keep doing this, because, like you say, it's I could go into many fields and probably be relatively successful, but I don't think I'd go to bed at night and think, what, my day was exactly how Mike Bell's day was supposed to look. And I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes, my brother. Well, we could even take it further. Like I was talking, I'm sure saying it to somebody recently. Let's say your shell could be animated to do a job. This is just a theory. If you don't do that particular job or that work, how much cocaine is he going to deliver today?
Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it.
But it will it could manifest as some sort of a tension. It could be a sickness in your body. But when you work in harmony with the spirit world or your spirit, I guess things sort of like fall into place, and the right phone calls happen to be coming towards you, and the right opportunities. It seems very, 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 very weird the way things work. Very, very weird.
It is a bit weird, and I think kind of touching on some cultural backgrounds here, man. Just with what you're saying, this is weird. This interview's taking almost like what I had planned for the end is coming into the front, but that's fine. I don't care. That's fine.
Sorry.
And we touched yesterday on some philosophy, but I kind of shut it down because I thought me and Dad were going to be talking about this on the show like all day. You know what I mean? Um, I've recently read Carl Jung's basically I suppose you could see it as Carl Jung's biography. Really, is
Yeah.
almost like I think it's dreams, reflections, and something else. And he was
Yeah.
talking about that because you touched on it there, and that's why I want to talk about it. He was talking about that kind of that East-West divide in terms of ways of thinking.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think he was saying he spent some time in the East, and it was almost like we don't understand the Western man. Like you're always looking for something, you're always searching, you're always looking, you're always looking. You're never kind of like I suppose living in the moment or kind of there's no like peace internally. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, man. Like I found that in myself. It's like, sure, it's not to say that no one looks for success or looks for like the next thing, but it's like I think there's this pressure in the West to just constantly be moving and constantly you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do that. Whereas actually, that is not always the way forward. You have to take a step back and kind of sit and actually consider be grateful for what you do have, be grateful for what you have done, and actually spend a little bit of time to kind of congratulate your people, your family, or be grateful for your past, and stop constantly pushing forward. Do you think there's any kind of, if I touched slightly on what you meant there?
Well, you've had a nerve because when it is like my better half Claire, she always says I'm always let's say on a very basic level. Let's answer it, then we'll delve deeper. She always says, Dav, you keep pushing, you keep pushing. You're gonna die before your time. You keep pushing. I go, but I have to push. I go because I've got purpose, and every day I'm driven. And being driven, I mean, I think when as a younger man, I did this experiment in self hypnosis using a crystal, and and he was swinging it in front of ourselves, and I hypnotized myself, yeah, and it actually
Okay.
worked to actually. I used to sit up like a vampire at like six in the morning and start doing push-ups and sit-ups and
Love it.
training and stuff. But I kept on doing it for years.
Okay.
And I achieved so much over the years. I think the only thing that snapped me out of that was encountering some massive hurdles in life and being pulled down. But I realized that the power behind it. So regarding jumping back to the archetypes of Jung, very, very interesting stuff. I'm not so much of a wizard on Jung. I'm still delving. I study more of the dream analysis work of Herbert Silberer. He actually hung himself because Freud wouldn't accept his theories.
Oh,
So
wow.
that seems quite very, very, very interesting. The whole dream the whole dream side of things, but being driven by the Western desire to succeed in the material world, that it can kill a person off. It really can. But I have been blessed over the last few years. I work for some extremely financially wealthy people, such as there's a major private equity player, a couple of hedge fund people, a president of a very oil and gas rich country. I'd look after their mansions, and I learned a lot working there on my own. And I learned that it's not just about chasing money. We can all. I've wasted too many years of my life chasing cash. It's about doing something where following your purpose, using your skills. So even a rich guy, I think, at the time where I was working, I think it was. I shouldn't say the name. Probably end up getting killed, but I get bumped off.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
I realised that I'm smiling more than an immigration interview.
Love it. Brilliant.
Let me in. All right, sorry. All right. Sorry. Yeah. I hope I've answered that question sort of like decently.
No, I think you have. I think. I mean, the thing is, the problem with that question is there's no conclusion to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's when you get into philosophy or psychology, it's you kind of, that's it. You're going to be talking about that.